Hello and welcome everyone. Today we'll be talking about some of the protest behaviors that the fearful avoidant has in their relationship dynamics and in their life as a whole. But first, if you're new to my channel, my name is Marcella. I'm an attachment practitioner trained by Tice Gibson in the Personal Development School. I have a bachelor's degree in business and I'm the owner of the Fearless Love Academy, where I help women change their mindset to change their love story after trauma. I love fearful avoidants. Fearful avoidants to me are some of the most understanding, caring people on this whole entire planet. Although they do have quite a bit of traumas that need to be resolved and healed with time, right? And so I used to be fearful avoidant, so I'm very familiar with this attachment style and what it takes to get on your healing journey. But today we're going to talk about some of the protest behaviors that come up for the fearful avoidant in relationships. So number one is going to be that fearful avoidants can be quite harsh with their words. And if you're a fearful avoidant or you're the partner of a fearful avoidant, you will definitely be able to vouch for this. Why? This is usually the result of feeling taken advantage of in their relationship. So when they're pouring into people or they're showing up and giving, and nothing is being received back, fearful avoidants usually can feel like taken advantage of and get kind of frustrated and go into this form of coping by being harsh with words. Maybe they're making critical comments. Maybe they're being a little passive aggressive, right? This is how fearful avoidants kind of like cope with the situation at hand, versus a healthy way would be asking the partner for what they need, of course, being able to communicate vulnerably when they need some support, and also being able to set boundaries effectively out of a place of like calmness versus out of a place of like frustration and anger, which fearful avoidants tend to be very good at. They set boundaries out of anger a lot of the time. Number two, fearful avoidants tend to experience a lot of spitefulness in relationships. So when this usually happens for fearful avoidants, this is usually because the fearful avoidant has not been really communicating what they need to their partner. So spitefulness might be like not answering the phone all day, not cooking dinner anymore when they're frustrated, not doing their partner's laundry when they know that they really needed it, right? It's like these acts of spitefulness to purposely create some kind of like discomfort in the partner. It's almost like I want you to feel what I feel. And this happens a lot of the times when fearful avoidants have things that they need, but they're expecting their partner to mind read. So instead of going to communicate it, they're expecting their partner to be attuned to them and already know. And when they aren't showing up for this, the fearful avoidant can then go into coping by doing all these spiteful things. So I want you to understand what I am going through, and therefore I'm going to create this environment for you where now you can feel something just like I am feeling something, right? It's a subconscious strategy to meet the needs for being seen, heard, understood, and some of the time creating like emotional connection in the relationship again. Another protest behavior that fearful avoidants have is avoiding expressing what you're feeling and what you're needing. Fearful avoidants are very fearful about what it means to be vulnerable. It's almost like if I explain what I need, like I will be weak, or if I'm honest or I'm vulnerable or I tell somebody what I'm really feeling, that they might not show up for me. Therefore, I would be unsafe, or they might betray me, or they might abandon me. Like fearful avoidants tend to tell themselves all of these scary things around what it means if they actually truly open up to someone, and if they were to express their feelings and even ask somebody for what they needed. A lot of the times fearful avoidants have a lot of fears around what it means to set boundaries in relationships. It's almost like if you say no, you will be bad, or maybe you'll be abandoned. If you ask for things you need, maybe you're going to burden somebody, you're too much, you shouldn't need these things, right? These are the kinds of things that fearful avoidants run through their mind. And then again, if I am too open with somebody, they might take advantage of me, and then I'll be hurt, right? Or then I'll be foolish, or I'll be stupid. So these are kind of like the limiting beliefs that stand in the way of fearful avoidants expressing what it is they need in their relationship dynamics. And lastly is going to be emotional volatility in their relationship. Fearful avoidants can have a lot of like big emotion coming up. I know as a fearful avoidant myself that I used to turn to emotional volatility in times where I felt deeply betrayed. And it's not because I was actually being betrayed, but a lot of the times it's like what we are perceiving as a betrayal or what we are perceiving as imbalances in the relationship, we take action on. It's like fearful avoidants experience these things in extreme. So it's like if your partner doesn't do the dishes like you asked them, right? Maybe it's because they forgot. Fearful avoidants tend to jump to a negative conclusion. That's because I'm being disrespected, or I'm unloved, I'm uncared about, I just don't matter. See, I knew they wouldn't show up for me. And it's kind of like a betrayal as well, which is one of fearful avoidance' biggest core wounds. And when any of these things are touched on, fearful avoidance can go into emotional volatility. And this could be being very passive aggressive with your words. This could be kind of like storming through the house. This could be slamming things around. This can be going directly to them and kind of confronting them, very confrontational, and kind of like saying what you need and kind of like finally putting your foot down, which is why fearful avoidants think they're good at setting boundaries, but usually it's always out of a place of pure anger and frustration. And if you are only setting boundaries out of anger, you are not a good boundary setter. Why? Because you should be able to set boundaries in real time and be assertive and still be friendly and nice, but be assertive in what it is you need and be proactive instead of reactive. So that's a huge thing. So if you're a fearful avoidant and you're watching this video, it's going to be very crucial that you get in touch with what core wounds that you have so that you can heal them. You can think of your core wounds as like these bombs in like a minefield, and as soon as anything touches on your core wound, it like explodes. You explode, right? This is how core wounds work. I'm not going to go super deep into it, but it's very important. Learning your needs in relationships. Fearful avoidants don't even know their needs a lot of the times because they're so externally focused as human beings that they focus on everyone else all of the time and they forget about themselves. So a lot of times fearful avoidants aren't even tuning into themselves to see what they need so that they can go ask for it and communicate on behalf of that and get fulfilled in their relationships and create true happiness throughout their lives, right? Learning healthy communication is going to be top tier for you. There are a couple other aspects in there, but if you are interested in learning more, I have learned to transform my life thanks to Thais Gibson, of course. I give her all of the credit. I encourage you to check out my website in the link below to see what coaching opportunities I have available. I also have a fearful avoidant blueprint that would be amazing for you just to take a look at and see kind of what patterns exist within the fearful avoidant and how you can use that blueprint to start transforming and working on some of those things that need to be worked on. If you're new to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button to see more content focused on the fearful avoidant. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Thanks for stopping by. God bless.